Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Le Bistro Jazz Cafe Riverside on the Isla Cuale, and the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach. And then there's the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door to that. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge, or riverside at Le Bistro. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we have a sweet story with a happy ending. We're going to be meeting Brian Scott Carey and his partner Phillip Wier. They are the owners of a gourmet hot dog restaurant on Basillio Badillo in Zona Romantica. It's called Salchidogo. And Brian and Phillip just brought one of Vallarta's favorite hamburgers, Gene's Classic Burgers, from Plaza Marina to their hot dog restaurant in the Romantic Zone, making it Salchidogo and Gene's Classic Hamburgers, a match made in heaven. We're going to be talking with Hal Hilton and his wife Anita, who were the original owners of Gene's, about how this all transpired, about their new business, baking and delivering cinnamon rolls. Yeah, that's where the sweet part comes in. We have Vallarta news and more, so let's get right to it. Let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 9th of June, 2025. Vallarta's dry season is coming to a close, and not too soon. We've been talking about this. The first rains of the year last week came, and again last night we had some rain. The Cuale had dried up all the way, when it reached the Isla Cuale, just for a couple of days. And then Tropical Storm Alvin swept by and saved the day. And before the storm, there were fires that were burning all over the bay. There were fires up in the Sierras, too, up in San Sebastian and Mascota. In Chimo, down south, in Maito, down south, in El Tuito, also down south and east. You'd wake up every morning here in the hills above Zona Romantica where we live and smell smoke. It was smoky and it was hazy over the bay during the day for a couple weeks. Of course, smoky skies always make for sunsets, really, really pretty sunsets, unfortunately. We got our second taste of rain again last night, and we're currently awaiting Category 1 Hurricane Barbara, but that's supposedly still a few days off. It's supposed to head northwest of here, so most likely we're going to get some rain and some high surf, they say, in a couple days. We're still waiting for that. And we're still waiting for that first gully washer to roll through town. And it'll be nice to be able to fill up the rivers and green up the hillsides. And like I said, maybe the middle or end of the week. Puerto Vallarta celebrated her 57th year anniversary as a city, 107 as a municipality on the 31st of May, about a week ago. They had an air show with acrobatic aircraft, wowing the spectators. We watched it from here. It was kind of cool. There were parachutists, and there was a stage set up on the Malecon with live music and dancing and a huge party. And of course, fireworks. Close to midnight, they did a lot of fireworks. And then music, lots of live music until the wee hours of the morning. The city, it seems, went all out on this one, and they really outdid themselves. It was really pretty cool. And today, June 9th, is the birthday of the state of Jalisco. That's right. From the Banderas News, Jalisco celebrates 202 years as a free and sovereign state. Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, this Monday, June 9th, 2025. Jalisco proudly marks 202 years since it was proclaimed a free and sovereign state, an important chapter in Mexico's federal history. Although the official proclamation took place on June 16th, 1823, the holiday is observed on the second Monday of June, as established by the state law, to make its commemoration more accessible. Public schools and government offices will be closed. The private sector is not required to observe the day, though some businesses may choose to give their employees the day off. Jalisco was officially founded on December the 16th, 1823, when the Constituent Congress of the state of Jalisco declared its independence from the province of Nueva Galicia. However, the region's roots stretch back much farther. Long before the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century, the area was home to thriving indigenous cultures, such as the Huichol, Nahuatl, Caxican, and Purepecha. The Spanish conquest transformed the region into Nueva Galicia, which once included what are now Jalisco, Nayarit, Colima, and parts of other neighboring states. Jalisco quickly became one of the first states to embrace Mexican federalism, and since then it has played a key role in the nation's cultural, political, and economic development. The state has given rise to legendary figures like muralist Jose Clemente Orozco, poet Juan Rulfo, composer Jose Alfredo Jimenez, and painter and sculptor Alejandro Colunga. Today, Jalisco's 125 municipalities reflect its deep and diverse heritage, from the famous cuisine and world-renowned tequila to mariachi music and the traditional charro culture. Jalisco continues to shape the Mexican identity. Its capital, Guadalajara, often called the Pearl of the West, stands out for its stunning architecture, historic plazas, and strong artistic presence. Institutions like INEGI and the Jalisco Institute of Statistical and Geographic Information help track the state's growth and needs, supporting smarter public policies for its people. Jalisco's population structure and municipal organization remain vital areas of research and planning. As Jalisco celebrates over 2 centuries of sovereignty, it also honors the many generations who have shaped its past and continue to build its future. And I have a link to that article from the Banderas News in the show notes. And happy birthday, Jalisco. Ms. Maloya is getting a new pier. This is an article that's related to a story that I talked about a couple weeks ago. This is from the Banderas News. The new pier coming to Ms. Maloya to boost tourism and access. Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Mexico, the iconic beach of Ms. Maloya in Puerto Vallarta is set to receive a new pier, bringing modern improvements while honoring its rich history and natural beauty. The project, already in its early stages, is part of a broader plan to improve maritime connectivity in the Banderas Bay region through a proposed nautical staircase. Led by the Secretary of Infrastructure and Public Works of Jalisco, David Zamora Bueno, and Puerto Vallarta Mayor Luis Munguia, the first phase of development includes detailed topographic studies and site preparation. A total of 55 million pesos has been allocated for this stage, with completion expected by the end of 2025. The new pier will not only replace the old structure, but also introduce upgrades, features such as beach walkways, lighting, and high-speed internet access through Red Jalisco. These enhancements aim to benefit both residents and the growing number of visitors drawn to this area just 20 minutes south of downtown Puerto Vallarta. Governor Pablo Limos emphasized the pier's importance to Puerto Vallarta, a city that has become one of Mexico's leading tourist destinations and a key contributor to the state's economy. The project aligns with the efforts to strengthen tourism and create new economic opportunities along the coast. Among the long-term goals is the establishment of a continuous ferry and water taxi system connecting key points around Banderas Bay. This would reduce traffic on land, diversify the region's tourism options, and build a modern logistics hub to support further growth. The plan also includes the development of a second pier across from Uruguay Street, currently under review. That project is expected to move forward later this year as part of the region's larger maritime mobility strategy. Collaboration between the municipal government and the Navy is ensuring the progress is made with care for the environment and the local community. Together, they're working to preserve what makes Mismaloya special while opening new doors for its future. And yes, I have a link to that article from the Banderas News in the show notes. We talked about this connectivity thing a couple weeks back, but now it looks like they are moving forward, like I said, with this pier in Mismaloya. Now, as they say, and I think they're right, the piers should make it easier to travel by Panga. And it's very interesting. I don't know what they're going to work out for that thing, but from place to place, all along the coast. And there are some that are not happy. They're not happy about the plans. I've read about some environmental groups that have said that they are very skeptical of what's going on here. And speaking of environmental groups and what they have to say, have you heard that this October there are plans to open an aquarium with over 2,000 organisms, 60 species, and including an interactive penguin exhibit? That's right, an Antarctic-inspired penguin dome to boot. Here is an article from Vallarta in Lina. At a press conference, businessmen from Mazatlan announced the imminent opening of an aquarium with 2,200 square meters in the La Isla Shopping Center, with both local families and tourists can enjoy. It will open in the coming months with an exhibition of about 2,000 varieties of different fish and living things in fish tanks and ponds, as well as information sheets, virtual reality, and interactive areas. The great novelty is that there will be a pond with 10 penguins with which people can interact. The owners of the future aquarium, who also directed the aquarium in Mazatlan, said they have federal permits to bring the species there, and there will be experts for their well-being there. The investment will be around 80 million pesos within the facilities of the La Isla Shopping Mall, which will add the aquarium to its attraction list. And I have a link to that story in the show notes there from vallartainlina.net. All right, so what do you think? Would you go to an aquarium in Puerto Vallarta? What do you think that they're going to tell these penguins about the September and October weather in paradise, huh? Although, you know what, I do recall once I went to a resort in Maui, I think it was, and they did have penguins there, and they seemed happy enough, I guess. It was pretty cool there. Actually, just went to look online at the aquarium that this firm built in Mazatlan, and they too have that same penguin habitat there that they're planning on building in Puerto Vallarta. And the information on their website reads, I'll read it to you, Penguin Habitat. Come visit the adorable Humboldt penguins and enjoy a unique chance to interact with them. Feed these fascinating birds and capture the moment with a photo. Remember to dress warmly. It goes on to read. So maybe they got this place is air conditioned. Maybe, hey, another air conditioned spot for the overheated residents of Puerto Vallarta, right? Anyway, tell me what you think. Would you go? I put a link in the show notes for both the Vallarta and Lina article, and there's another article there from mazatlancity.com that talks about this firm that built the aquarium up in Mazatlan, the one that is coming to La Isla Mall in October. We'll see. If you are looking for love in paradise online, better be careful. The U.S. State Department put out a warning specifically mentioning Puerto Vallarta and kidnapping and extortion of American citizens. This is from AZ Noticias MX. U.S. warns of kidnapping of foreigners in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, and Nuevo Nayarit. This is by AZ Noticias editorial team. This was June 3rd, 2025. Posted in Jalisco. The United States has issued an alert following reports of several American citizens kidnapped by people the victims met on dating apps. According to the U.S. Consulate General in Guadalajara, the incidents occurred in recent months in Puerto Vallarta and Nayarit areas. They ask for money for the recovery of a person. According to U.S. authorities, the victims and their families have been extorted for large sums of money in order to obtain their release. Please note that this type of violence is not limited to one geographic area. Travelers should be cautious when meeting strangers, they reported. The United States reminded that Jalisco is classified as level 3, so it recommends reconsidering travel due to crime and kidnapping. What are the recommendations when using dating apps, you wonder? Be careful when using online dating apps in Mexico. Meet only in public places and avoid isolated locations. Tell a friend or family member your plans, including where you're going, the details of the person that you're meeting, and the app you used to meet them. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, don't hesitate to walk away from a situation. And then they've got these numbers here for emergency numbers, how to request help. And they got a Mexican number and a U.S. number and a State Department number as well. I'll have all those in the show notes, as well as that article from aznoticias.mx in the show notes. Now, the local government here in Vallarta is quick to say that this is not a widespread issue, citing just one incident. But in fact, there have been more than one of these kidnappings over the last few months. If you follow social media and missing person reports that we see on the face bag, there's more than one. But look, it's pretty sketchy. Wherever you live, let's face it, using dating apps, meeting total strangers, it's just, you're taking a chance, right? I mean, look, I know it's hard being single. It's also hard fooling around, too. I mean, it's harder to do both, I imagine. But, hey, look, be careful. You don't need to make a late night call to your spouse or best friend to send you pesos so you don't get whacked by Juan or Juanita, right? Come on. Play it smart. Now, don't let this distressing news of kidnapping and ransom and extortion get you down, because according to this article in the Banderas News dated April 23rd, Puerto Vallarta is ranked as the 4th safest city in Mexico. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Puerto Vallarta has climbed to 4th place in perceived safety among Mexican cities and remains the safest in the state of Jalisco, according to the latest results from National Urban Public Safety Survey, published on April 22nd by the National Institute of Statistics and Geography. To determine the public's perception of security in cities throughout Mexico every year during the first 2 weeks of March, June, September, and December, the National Institute of Statistics and Geography conduct a national urban public security survey among the population over 18 years of age who reside in 91 cities considered to be of interest of the national territory. In the most recent survey published on Tuesday, April 22nd, only 23% of Puerto Vallarta residents aged 18 and over reported feeling unsafe, a marked improvement from 30.5 recorded the previous quarter. This positive shift highlights the city's commitment to ensuring a secure environment for both its residents and thousands of visitors it welcomes every year. Compared to other cities in Jalisco, Puerto Vallarta's safety ratings are exceptional. In Guadalajara, 78.8% of residents reported feeling insecure, while Tajumulco and Tlaquepaque showed similar concerns, with 71.5% and 61% of their population feeling unsafe, respectively. On the national level, Puerto Vallarta stands alongside cities like San Pedro Garza Garcia, 10.4%, Benito Juarez at 20.4%, and Piedras Negras at 20.5% as the cities with the lowest levels of perceived insecurity. On the other end of the spectrum, cities like Villahermosa, 90.6%, Culiacan at 89.7%, and Fresnillo at 89.5% reported the highest rates of perceived insecurity, with over 89% of respondents expressing concern. Also, the ENSU revealed broader trends in perceptions of insecurity across Mexico. Nationwide, 61.9% of surveyed population aged 18 and over expressed feelings of insecurity in their respective cities. This figure represents a stable trend, showing no statistically significant change from March of 2024 at 61% and December of 2024 at 61.7% surveys. The March 2025 ENSU identified 18 urban areas with statistically significant shifts in perceived safety compared to December of 2024, with 7 cities showing a decrease in insecurity and 11 reporting an increase. While the historical data reveals variations in how safe Puerto Vallarta has been perceived over time, the current survey suggests that ongoing initiatives aimed at enhancing public safety have yielded positive results. With continued emphasis on crime prevention and community involvement, both residents and visitors are experiencing an increased sense of security. Whether it is a short vacation or a long-term stay, Puerto Vallarta's appeal continues to grow, thanks not only to the scenic coastline and cultural richness, but also to the safety that makes it feel like home. And I have a link to that article from the Banderas News in the show notes. So there. And I can concur that this article is correct by everything that it's saying. Been coming to Puerto Vallarta for 40 years with my wife, with my kids, on my own, recording interviews for the podcast, while my wife slaved away at home. Never once have we ever felt in danger or had anything stolen or been intimidated. Although we always looking around, I always keep an eye open for the occasional sketchy individual, and they're out there. And when I see them, I make sure that the folks that I'm with know it too, and they're also paying attention. So it's just something that everybody should do. Know who's moving around you, right? But no, I've never felt directly in danger at all in 40 years of coming to this town. And if you've been here, I'm sure that you would totally agree with me. Now, Debbie and I, we moved 10 months ago, right? So we've been here for 10 months, and we have to say that we have had so much fun meeting listeners who've reached out to us just to find out what we're doing. You want to share a drink? You want to go out? We want to meet you, And there's just so many of you that I just feel like we're friends. We got this special bond. And I just want to say that we appreciate all of you. Really, we do. There's Eric and his wife, Amy, from Minnesota Cold. And actually, I've got Eric coming up on an upcoming podcast, actually a new suggestion for a driver for the show. We've been looking for a good one, right? And thank you very much to Eric. Matt and Jody from Canada. Great times. Oh man, I tell you what, they're a lot of fun. They told us that we needed to go to the romantic walk, and that they told the owner that he should talk to me. And we did it, and he did, and I've fallen in love with that food. It's really, really good. You got to go check that out. I have an interview coming up with James over at the Romantic Walk soon. So thanks to you both, Jody and Matt, for telling us about that place. And then there's Jose and Cara from Atlanta. They're architects, and they built a beautiful home overlooking downtown Vallarta. Really, really nice. We've had some great times with them. Joyce and Bill from, I think they're from Wisconsin. Such a cool couple. And I think Bill has been coming to Puerto Vallarta for as long as we have. He's got some pretty cool memories. He remembers a lot of the places that we do. And then Gilbert and Chris from Colorado. These guys are so cute. They're such foodies. They're so nice. And they're always on the run, and they're always making great suggestions to me about guests and about what they like to hear and what they like to eat. And actually, we had them over our place for drinks not too long ago, and they suggested that we walk down the street from our house, just a couple blocks, and to a lovely restaurant called Palmar de los Gonzales. What a view. What a beautiful, beautiful view. And a classic Vallarta architecture. The food was delicious. We're totally going back. We'll do an interview there too. So thanks, Chris and Gilbert. We'll see you soon, I hope. And then Marty and his wife Janine from Indiana. Marty always has suggestions. He sends me emails all the time. And I really appreciate his friendship and his advice. And we had a really nice lunch up at the Seahorse restaurant. We've been there before with the show. It overlooks the Plaza de Armas and the Malecon and the bay. It's got a beautiful view. You could see it's right there, right next to the Iglesia de la Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, the big church there in town. Yeah, I did a couple years ago. I did an interview there with Raul. It's just a beautiful restaurant. It's almost always empty. You got to go. You just got to go there. Great sunset. It's great. Now I have a dish there. I'm going to recommend it to you. If you go there, you can't miss the dish. You just got to go get it. It's called ensalada rosa, which is a red salad. It has watermelon and strawberries and tomatoes and basil and feta cheese. And it's got this reduced balsamic vinegar dressing. It is out of this world, you guys. You just got to try it. I'll put a picture of it in the show notes. You'll see it over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Who else is out there? Brian stopped by and had a beer with us over at Los Muertos Brewery. And if you are in town, they have the greatest happy hour. They have a great happy hour for craft beer. It's like 45 pesos for a craft beer. It's like $2.50. And a slice of pizza, I think, is 45 pesos as well. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. Like I said, anyway, Brian introduced us to Don over at Capa Cupola up in Colonia Mapas, around the hill from us. So thank you, Brian, for the recommendation. We'll get over to Casa Cupola real soon. Let's see. Just so many. There's so many moments with listeners over the last 10 months since we moved here permanently. We really appreciate you listening and your suggestions and your friendship. It's really meant just a ton to us, just to meet new friends in our new adopted town. Very, very cool. Muy chido. Now, as long as we're talking about cool things, I have a couple of cool stories to share with you. So let's get to our interviews, shall we? Now, a few months ago, I noticed that an all-time Vallarta favorite hamburger stand, Gene's Classic Burgers in Plaza Marina, was for sale. And then I noticed a little later they were advertising the date of their last day, kind of a countdown, so to speak. And then in all of this, I also noticed them doing a little advertising for a bakery selling cinnamon rolls. So I found this curious, and being the curious type, I contacted Hal, and I said, Hal, are you selling cinnamon rolls? And he says, yes, but you need to wait and talk to me until I work out the last days over at the hamburger stand. So I said, okay, cool. I'm patient. I'll put you on my calendar and I'll get back to you. So Jeans has their last day, and I'm watching all this stuff, on the social medias. And then something magical happened. You're going to hear first from Hal and Anita, his wife, from Jeans Classic Hamburgers, about that day, and then from some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet, Brian and Phillip, who brought Jeans Classic Burgers from the edge of extinction into the Zona Romantica of Puerto Vallarta. So let's go to my favorite little restaurant for a good seafood and a better margarita, and to record a podcast episode, of course. I go there a lot. It's Restaurant San Lucas, where I love to record interviews. So thank you for that, guys. And let's talk with Hal and Anita Hilton about a little miracle and a sweet new business venture, baking and delivering cinnamon rolls with La Sugar Bakery in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Hal and Anita, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. Hal, we know you from a podcast that we did before over at your burger place.
That's
right?
correct, yes.
Remind us a little bit about Jeans, and then tell us about the sale of Jeans, because you did something that not a lot of people do in Vallarta. They don't get a chance to retire and sell their business.
Well, I don't know if I'm retired. And I don't know if the restaurant sale could do that, but yeah, Jeans, for a lot of people that are listening and maybe don't know and maybe aren't from here, but a lot of people from here, that Jeans is a hamburger restaurant that we started about 12 years ago. And the namesake of my mom, Jean Hilton, and my wife and I were wanting to do something when we moved down here and decided we were going to do a little hamburger restaurant. And so we were sitting on the couch one day wanting to know what we were going to call it. And so my wife suggested we just call it Jeans after your mom, and I thought that was a great idea. So that's what we did: start a little hamburger restaurant in honor of my mom.
And now, how many years ago was that?
That was actually about 11 and a half years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then something popped up. You decided you were ready to sell the business?
Yeah. As we were kind of chatting before we went on here, is that my wife had some health issues, and so we decided that we were going to leave Vallarta and move somewhere that's a little bit healthier for her. And so in doing so, we decided we were going to sell the restaurant. But kind of in the middle of all that, we were approached by somebody that approached us and said, "Hey, I'm interested in maybe taking a look at buying you guys. I love your product. I've been a customer of yours, and so would you guys be interested in selling?" And so we said, yeah. So we decided we were going to. That was about almost 2 years ago, maybe about a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So and then it happened.
Yeah, it kind of happened by necessity. I think it's really not only because we wanted to move, but because when this person approached us and said, "Hey, I'd like to maybe buy it," we had an electrical storm. It was right in the middle of the summertime. As you know, you live here, you're going to have a lot of electrical storms. And we had one that was so close to the restaurant that it got into the restaurant electrically, and it burnt our hard drive on our machine, on our data machine.
Yeah.
And so all of our sales, all of our transactions, all of our data was completely burnt. Our hard drive was destroyed. So I told my wife, how are we going to sell this to somebody? I can't put together a pro forma, a profit loss statement. I can't put anything together.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I told the guy, I said, "Look, give me 3 months and we'll put together the data for you." Well, 3 months ended up kind of being into the high season. And as you know here, the business is, during the high season, it's quite good. And then the low season, it drops off significantly.
Yeah.
So I said, that's really not fair to him. So I told him, I said, "Hey, give me another 6 months and we'll put together something." Well, by that time, he and his partner had decided to open something else.
Okay.
And so we decided, well, we're just going to go ahead and follow through, get a year's worth under our belt, and then we'll put it up for sale. And so that's what we did.
Okay. Very good. And then you told me something happened on the last day.
Yeah. Well, we had this, once we decided to sell, all I needed to do was go and get an extension of our lease, but that turned out not to happen because our landlord decided he wasn't going to lease the space to us anymore.
Oh, wow. That changed everything.
Yeah, that kind of came out of left field, and so it really took us by surprise. And so now we really have a challenge on our hand because now we're selling really a restaurant concept,
right?
Not an actual, not a space, and not something where a buyer could recover their money. And so now the value of our restaurant was really in peril. And so we tried to sell, and we did get an oral extension on our lease from a landlord until the end of March. So March 20th was our last day.
Yeah.
And come to find out, the guy who had originally come to say, I'm interested in buying you, was there with his business partner on the very last day.
And that was just totally by surprise. That didn't happen like on purpose, did it?
No. As I mentioned, and I told my wife this many times, it was really, truly a divine appointment because we prayed about it and we really wanted it to sell, but we were prepared for any contingency. And so we were getting right to the last day, and I just knew didn't matter one way or the other. Well, they show up on the last day and they're like, well, hey, what's going on? You guys got a lot of people here on your last day. It's a lot of activity here. And I said, well, everybody's telling us goodbye. It's our last day. And they said, no, really? And I said, yeah. So they looked at each other, and so I was off serving some other things, came back, and I said, Hal, maybe we can work out something. Well, this might work. Maybe we'll put together something. We'll put our heads together and we'll give you a call and see if we can put something together.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they followed through with that. And one thing led to another. We got a deal worked out.
Right. And these people are?
Brian and Phillip, who own Salchidogo.
Right. Now, they opened Salchidogo, maybe?
It's been about a year.
Oh, have they? Okay.
They've been open. It was about a year that they opened up.
Yeah, about a year. Probably.
They invited us for their grand opening, and we went, and great food, gourmet hot dogs here in the Romantic Zone. And so they just decided that they were going to add Gene's as a complement to their own. So now they got 2 restaurants in their space.
Very cool.
And we've helped transition from us over to them, sharing the recipes and training their staff, even lending one of our workers from our restaurant. And they've been great. Phillip and Brian have been terrific to work with, and I'm glad to see it's successful for them. And we're watching their growth, and we're happy for them. It works.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. Well, we're going to be visiting Phillip and Brian a little bit later. But Gene's Burgers, best burgers in Vallarta, and so it's like, it's so nice to see that it survived. But when I got a hold of you a couple of months back and I said, there's something going on here that looks a little bit suspicious, and it looks like, it looks sweet, and it looks like cinnamon rolls, and they're amazing. And so let's hear about this new business.
Well, I have a secret weapon, and it's my wife. I tell people this. I say that there are 3 types of bakers. There's people like you and I. I'm going to assume you're like me, and that you can read a recipe and you can make some cookies, and they turn out pretty good, And then you have people that are school trained, and they live within the strict boundaries of how people learn when they learn to bake, when they go to baking academy and what have you. And then there are people that are gifted, and they don't have to go to school, but they understand the science behind it. They understand the art behind it, and they're looking for a specific flavor profile and texture and longevity and deliciousness and that's my wife. She is not
Anita.
content. Yeah, and Anita is my wife, and she is gifted that way. And I'm 20 pounds heavier than I really should be. Is it because I'm the beneficiary of all of her testing? But So in the meantime, here we are trying to sell our restaurant, and she comes up and we're trying to sell the restaurant so we can move to a healthier location. And we kind of goof up, and she makes this cinnamon roll that's just out of this world. It really is.
It is, folks, out of this world. Believe me.
So, so we're like, okay, well, let's try selling these. We didn't know if we were going to sell them or not. When we were closing up the restaurant, we were within a couple of months of closing, and I said, honey, what we need to do is we need to maybe market and try give out samples of your cinnamon roll so we can at least get some marketing going.
Well, you've got the physical building that you can actually sell them out of, right?
Exactly. We've got a lot of traffic there. Yeah. So I said, let's try to take advantage of that. And so we did that. And that's how we built our clientele and the following. And from there, it's grown. And from that, I'll let my wife take over, and she can tell you all the background on what goes on in the kitchen.
Yeah. All right. So Nita, tell us first of all about you, because we met Hal. We met Hal a little while ago, but I haven't met you. You're a Mexican. You're Mexican.
Yes.
Where were you born?
I was born in a little town that is south of here, 2 hours. It's called Jose Maria Morelos. And I lived there until I was 18. After that, I moved to Guadalajara because I wanted to become a lawyer. That I did.
Very good. Really? You're abogada.
Yes. I didn't get to practice. I worked with the police department for around 6 months. And that's when I decided I didn't like criminal law as I thought I was going to like that much, but I didn't. So I moved out of the criminal law to move into contract law.
Okay.
We had gone to Manzanillo, and I like the port. I like how they were importing and exporting things from Mexico. So I decided that's what I wanted to do.
Nice.
So I applied to do my master's degree in international law, but they asked me if I needed 80% English at least to apply for the school. And I had like 5.
Oh, wow. Well, for me.
This is some time ago.
I was going to say, things have changed, haven't they?
Yeah. So that's what I needed to learn English. So I thought, what better place to learn than going to the States? I had cousins that were already going to school there. So they said, come over with us, you can learn. And so I moved to the States to learn English, to come back to my master's. Well, I met my husband, and I forgot about the master's, and here we are.
And here you are. Wow, love story right here. I'll tell you what. And she's well versed in law here in Mexico. So you're great partner you got there, Hal. Come on.
Yeah, she is. Having a lawyer as a wife is a blessing. It really is a blessing.
And a curse.
And a curse.
So I believe that.
If we have, some contract issues, or we have some things that need to be done, or paperwork and what have you, and especially when I was becoming a permanent citizen or permanent resident and what have you, she's very helpful with that.
I bet.
And she's had other people within the family and friends that have had some questions and what have you, and so she's given some advice. And she didn't practice, but she's been very helpful.
I know how that goes. When you're a professional, people always come up to you and they ask advice. They do.
They do.
It happens. It just happens. But now you are practicing in the law of baking.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the laws of baking are pretty strict too, right? I mean, you have to follow directions, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It is in some cases, I would say you can experiment a little bit, but you do have to follow the rules. So if you want to get the product that you want, you can't use like food. You sometimes throw stuff together there in a pot, and now you got chicken soup. It's great. Yeah, well, it doesn't work with baking.
No.
You want fluffy pancakes, you can't just throw flour and salt and expect that it's going to be delicious. It doesn't work. Yeah,
no.
You have to have the basics.
Right. Well, you have really perfected this recipe, which is amazing. How long did it take you to perfect that method?
I'm going to say I had the first picture that I have of me making cinnamon rolls was 6 years ago. So I can tell you I've been making cinnamon rolls for 6 years. And to get to this, like really working, probably 6 months of testing maybe every other week
You're
making cinnamon rolls.
throwing 20
Yes.
pounds on Hal.
Yes, and my sisters.
Oh,
my
everybody.
sisters,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, Hal, you've recovered. You're looking
No,
pretty
I
good
have
there.
not.
Yeah, you have.
Thank you.
What's the secret?
Radio makes you slimmer.
It does. and handsomer, too. I'm going to tell you that right now. What is the secret? What's the secret to your to this particular recipe? Is it?
I think the secret is everybody always said is make it with love. Yes, I do make it with love, but it's not all. I love sweets. I like bread. I like chocolates. I will eat that if I could all day long. So if I'm going to make something, I want it to be good for my taste, to say, oh, this is delicious. And I don't expect anything else. I want people to have that. The same experience that I get when I eat something, that's what I want people to have.
Yeah.
To say, oh, this is delicious. Not compromise with, yeah, it's okay. And my people might like it, might not, but it's okay. No, I like stuff to taste good because I like good food. So I want people to enjoy that. I guess that's the secret that motivates me to make good desserts and everything that I try to make at home that I attempt.
Yeah, well, the product is delicious. And if I could just describe it to you, it's sweet. It is very cinnamony. It is light. It's airy. It is not heavy. It's delicious. I mean, I could eat like 10 of these. So, and they're big
Thank you.
too. So, oh my God, they're wonderful. They're delicious. So how do people order them? How do they get them to their house?
Most of the people, they contact me through my page and Facebook, or they send me a WhatsApp message directly. And they will tell me, hey, what days do you have available? Can you deliver these days? Some are, right now I have some scheduled for the 28th of May that they didn't want to miss their date.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because sometimes I'm busy and I can deliver next day or same day. It's a little tricky. Cinnamon rolls take a little while to make, and I make them fresh every day.
Mhm.
If you were to order today, I will make them tomorrow. I get up early in the morning and make all my ingredients together and then come up with cinnamon rolls, and then we go and deliver them to you. My husband is actually my delivery driver.
Very good. Very good. All right.
He does a great job
Yeah, I
getting
bet
on
he does.
time.
That's
yeah.
my retirement job.
I like it. Okay, so that's what we're talking about,
Yeah.
retirement here. This is-
But that's usually how it goes. They can contact me directly to my Facebook page or my WhatsApp. That my number is
322-102.
Mhm.
What's the last
3080.
3080.
3080, 322-102, 3080. Okay, well, I'll have that in the show notes. Okay, so I'll have the links to everything that you need in the show notes. You have a Facebook page, too?
Yes. La Sugar Bakery. Mhm.
La Sugar is the name of it. La
Yes.
Sugar Bakery.
Mhm.
Okay, and at La Sugar Bakery, they make anything other than cinnamon rolls?
Not at the moment, but I'm planning to come out with a new cinnamon roll. Well, not new cinnamon, but a new flavor.
New flavor? Okay.
I'm going to make blueberry lemon cinnamon rolls.
Oh, you're killing me.
And that's the making. And I have a
Good
apple
luck, Hal.
pie.
They're incredible.
Good
cinnamon
luck,
roll.
Hal.
They're incredible.
Apple pie, too.
Cinnamon roll.
Oh,
Mhm.
my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So those are the ones that they're coming out. I have a recipe for banana bread that everybody's crazy about, so I might introduce that a little later, but I want to focus on some cinnamon rolls at the moment.
That's great. It's a great idea. And, well, I'll have pictures of these two. You know, I didn't see those other two because you're still working on that,
Yes,
right?
I'm working on them.
All right. Well, when you get that together, you'll send me some
Yes,
photos, and I'll
definitely.
put them in the show notes so everybody can find it. You'll find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, and just look up this interview here, and you will see those, and you'll be able to see how beautiful the cinnamon rolls are, and of course, you'll have all the contact information for Anita.
Thanks.
Am I missing anything? Did I miss anything at all?
I just, as we're sitting here talking, I was just wanted to mention that we are not planning on having a bakery location. We're not looking to open a storefront. We decided that we really wanted to do this out of our home, and everything is made to order. That way, you don't have any waste.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the problems that a lot of bakeries have is they'll make a lot of product, but they won't have a lot of foot traffic in order to purchase their product. And so they're left with a lot of things that are day old, couple days old. And that's profit that's lost.
Sure.
And it doesn't help anybody. And so we decided early on we were going to just do it at our home. And so if you were to order, your order goes in and it's made the following day or whenever the next available is. that is confirmed. And so everything's made to order. And that way it's nice. It comes to you. It's fresh. Here in Vallarta, we deliver 6 with free delivery. And so that works really well. That's opened up the market. We're super busy as a result.
Mhm.
Sure.
And so it's nice to have a place that we can make them and just deliver, but there's no place for you to go and pick them up.
Right.
But so we just come to you. Makes it easier.
And
Yeah.
they can come to your resort too, and drop
Yes.
it off at your
Mhm.
hotel, or maybe like your Airbnb or whatever, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. This is really cool. So just remember, this is a great way for you to start your morning once in Puerto Vallarta, is to make yourself some coffee and then wait for Hal to bring you your cinnamon rolls. Come on. I mean, this is a good idea. I like this.
It's true.
Yeah. Nita and Hal, I want to thank you for coming back on the show again,
And thank you.
for letting me reintroduce you both to my listeners and to Le Sugar.
Yes.
The Sugar Bakery, and then we're gonna totally go talk to those guys at Salchidogo too. So
Perfect.
thanks very much for everything. Thanks for keeping us informed and keeping us up to date as to what happened. Thanks for the stories.
Great.
Oh,
No,
you're
thank
so
you, Barry.
welcome, and thank you
Appreciate-
for inviting
appreciate
us.
the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much, Hal and Anita. What a great story, right? But what makes this a great story indeed are the 2 gentlemen that you're going to hear from right now, Brian Scott Carey and Phillip Wier, owners of Salchidogo, and now the new owners of Gene's Classic Hamburgers. They were just so kind enough to allow me to interview them for, as the late Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story. So let's go right now to Basillio Badillo, 329 in the Zona Romantica, and let's meet Brian Scott Carey and Phillip Wier at their combined restaurants, Salchidogo and Gene's Classic Burgers, where it's burgers and dogos, for the rest of the story in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Brian and Phillip, thanks for coming on the show today.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Tell us about yourself. Let's see. Phillip, you want to start? Tell us about yourself, where you're from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Okay. Well, I'm from Texas. Many generations, my family has been from Texas. And I spent most of my life there with a little bit of a detour to Washington, D.C. for a little while. Most recently in Dallas. And I don't know, about 30 years ago, I discovered Puerto Vallarta, and I came down and really fell in love with it. And every time I came down, and I'd bring more and more friends, and we would just love it. But the thing that struck me was there are a lot of people here from the States making a living. I thought, how are they doing this? So really for the next number of years, I thought, I've got to figure out how to do this. And eventually I did. A few years back, I did a sabbatical down here and realized that none of my clients even knew I was in Mexico. So I just kind of talked to them about it and said, would that be okay to continue our relationship if I'm in Mexico? They said, sure. So I moved down here full time. And that's what led me to Mexico and Puerto Vallarta.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. 30 years ago. So it's changed a lot, right? Over 30 years.
Yeah,
hasn't
we
it?
were talking about that earlier. It's changed a lot. And, with all things that change, there's good and there's things that maybe aren't so good. But I like the directions Puerto Vallarta is growing and going. And, we're here to integrate with the locals and become part of Puerto Vallarta. And that's why we're here and we love it.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you remember the first place you stayed?
The first place I stayed was, let me think about that. I think it was El Dorado.
Okay.
You remember El Dorado?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's still called El Dorado. The condo's El Dorado.
Okay.
It was that or La Palapa.
Okay. So
One
that
of the
area.
two.
So
that
you-
area.
you were-
Amapas. Yes.
You were in the right spot. You
I was in the
landed
right spot. Oh, sure.
30
Yeah.
years ago, right?
Yeah.
Brian, where are you from? What was your path that led you here?
I'm also from Dallas, but surprisingly, Phillip and I didn't meet and become friends until after I moved here. My first trip to PV was in 2019 before COVID. I think I came 3 times that year and just fell in love with it. So as soon as we were done with COVID, I was bored and looking to get out of Dallas. And so just looking for a challenge, honestly. And so took the jump to PV. I have been running a digital marketing agency called TikTok Marketing since 2014. And I do digital marketing and print marketing for a lot of clients in the Dallas area. But same story as Phillip, they didn't notice or miss that I wasn't that I wasn't nearby. So I've continued to work on that. And I've kind of been a serial entrepreneur, for most of my adult life. I started a boutique when I was in college, and I manage Airbnbs on the side here. So always moving and shaking, doing something. But that's what brought me to PV.
Right. And then you both met here.
Yes. Yeah. We have a lot of mutual friends.
We do. We both sang in the Turtle Creek Chorale, which is the gay men's chorus in Dallas.
Ah.
And I was aware of Brian. I had already moved on from the chorus at the time, but I went to a few events and he was singing, and I was aware of you. You weren't aware of me because I was in the audience. But anyway, I knew who he was. So when he moved here, I was very interested to get to know him. So
I'm famous, basically. A lot of people know me. I don't know what to say.
he's almost infamous. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too. All right. So, yeah, you decided that you both decided that you wanted to open a business here while you were in Paradise.
We are both huge foodies. We're constantly looking for new spots and talking about flavors, and we honestly, that's the core of the love for the industry. Is we just love food. Phillip is an amazing cook and chef, and to be honest, I do not cook very well, but I eat very, very well. And I've worked in restaurants. My first job was line server at Boston Market when I was 16 years old. And I've been server, I've been manager, I've been bartender, I've been host. I started and owned a restaurant in Dallas for a few years, just coming out of COVID. So a little bit of experience managing restaurants as well.
So,
point was we're both foodies, and that was probably the beginning of it. But the story of how Salchidogo started, I'll let Phil tell that story.
Okay.
He tells it best.
All right, but before let's talk about Salchidogo. What's a Salchidogo?
What is a Salchidogo?
Yeah.
Well, a Salchidogo is an artisanal sausage dog. And the name Salchidogo is a portmanteau of the word salchicha, which is Spanish for sausage, and dogo, which is a slang for hot dog in Spanish. So we just made a portmanteau. We did a Salchidogo. So that's what it is. It basically means sausage dog.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So how did this come about? How did Salchidogo come about?
How did I get you into this? So when I came down for that sabbatical a number of years ago, I went to the Saturday market in the Lázaro Cárdenas Park, the farmer's market. And there's a guy there selling these delicious sausage dogs, and I never had anything like it. The bread was bakery fresh. They were artisan sausages with really cool ingredients in them, like beer and Parmesan and bacon, just stuff that I'd never had before. So this is a really great flavor profile. So I would go every Saturday, and I became a regular. And if he didn't see me early in the day, he'd always save one for me because he knew I'd be on the way. And then when friends came down, they fell in love with it too. So the guy who developed it is Juan Palafox, and he's a friend of ours. And it was right before COVID, and he kind of shut down a little bit in COVID because everything did.
Yeah.
And he went to New York at that time, and I think he opened up a sausage dog place there as well. And then he did a couple of other projects, one in Ibiza, I think one in Puerto Rico. But I stayed in touch with him through his Instagram, and I was always saying, hey, if you're ever coming back, let me know because I love your sausage dogs. And I stayed after him. And when he finally did come back, just a couple of falls ago, we got in touch and started talking about the possibility of maybe franchising his brand. And that kind of fell apart. But then we came back together a few months later and said, why don't we just all go into business together? So that's what we did. That's how it really came about. It was, again, back to that whole flavor foodie thing. I was just so passionate about these sausages. They're just delicious. And there's nothing like it. And I thought he always had a really long line and always sold out. So I thought this is a really great opportunity to take this delicious product, make it a little bit more available instead of just on Saturdays, but throughout the week.
Right.
So that's really kind of the impetus of this.
All right. Yeah. So when somebody comes in to Salchidogo and they're looking at your menu, what are they looking at? What are they seeing there? What's on there?
So the first choice is which sausage they'd like. We currently have 3 on the menu: Salchi Porky, Salchi Furter, and Salchi Mexi. The Salchi Porky, for example, and these are big sausages. They're 180 grams just a sausage. So we like to say one of our marketing slogans is, it's not a hot dog, it's a Salchidogo, because it really is so different. We don't do any of the traditional toppings that you'd see on a hot dog cart. We have 5 toppings that are all fresh cut in-house, made on the griddle, on the plancha in-house. So we've got griddled onions with balsamic. We've got an in-house sweet and sour kraut that we call purple kraut, made with purple cabbage and vinegar and brown sugar. We've got poblanos. We've got fresh mushrooms griddled. So all the griddled toppings are made, kind of right in front of you in store. And then we offer 6 in-house dressings that we make right here, like jalapeno ranch, barbecue mole, habanero mango mustard. So you get to basically build your own super hot dog, your own hot dog on steroids. And it's a flavor combination that's just really unique, with influences from cuisine all around the world.
Wow. All right. So choice of which kind of dog, and then all kinds of toppings, including what I'm looking at right now, which is a whole lineup of sauces and things like that right on the table.
Yeah, I'm a big dipper. I like to try all the sauces. So we wanted people to have options.
I'm big with you. I'm big with that too. Big dipper is when we do that. That's fantastic.
Big dipper.
All right. So we have what else do we have? We have sides. What else do we have that goes with the hot dog?
We do have some sides. We have one of our claims to fame is our French fries, because we have what people have called the best fries in Puerto Vallarta. I mean, that's certainly subjective, but
I've had them.
Okay. Anyway, what I think makes them unique is we kind of try to cook them in a what we call kind of crispy tender, so that there's a little bit of I guess preparation for everybody. But the seasonings is what makes them so delicious. We have a Mexi Cajun, which is a little spicy. We have rosemary. We have a garlic and parsley, which we sometimes add Parmesan to if you like, which is just so delicious. A Flamin' Hot Cheetos fry.
Really?
And the classic fries as well. Just if you don't want any seasonings on them. But I think people love them for that. Oh, the other one, my favorite, is the barbecue. So if you're familiar with like a barbecue potato chip in the States or elsewhere, we capture that flavor in a French fry, which to me is just fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really, really delicious. And then our other sides are slaw. We do mango slaw with which is vegan, and it has an Asian type of tahini-based dressing on it with a little maple flavoring. Really, really good. And it has mango and cranberries, dried cranberries in it, as well as traditional slaw ingredients. And people love it. Sometimes they come just for that.
Yeah.
And we've also added another slaw, which is more of a traditional slaw with our jeans line, which we'll talk about later. So,
What else on that menu? Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I can talk about dessert.
Yeah, talk about dessert.
Although I deserve no credit because it's a Phillip's recipe, but we're becoming a little well known for a dish that we serve called huesitos, which means little bones in Spanish. For anybody who's familiar with Tex-Mex cuisine, these are fashioned after sopapillas. So it's a flour-based masa or dough that's cut in the shape of a little bone, like a little dog bone. Mm-hmm. Then it's deep fried, covered with cinnamon sugar, and then drizzled with honey. And we serve it in a dog bowl on the table with a little paper liner, so it looks really cute too. But there's 5 to an order, so it's really great for a table that just wants a little sweet, wants to share something with just a little sweet bite at the end. Really unique. And I think for people who don't know what a sopapilla is, I like to describe it as like a cross between a churro and a donut. So the outside is crispy and the inside is soft.
Right, and then that would be obviously that is not vegan, but
it is vegan.
It is vegan, right?
Vegan. We use vegetable shortening in the recipe. Sure.
All right.
So everything on our menu except the sausages, of course, are vegan. We are working on a vegan sausage. We've been working on a vegan sausage for quite some time.
Yeah.
And again, nothing goes on our menu unless we absolutely love it. Yeah. And until we absolutely love that vegan sausage, we're not going to put it on there.
Yeah, we did it. Oh, sorry.
We've come close, but it's not 100% there. I'd say maybe 90%. We're getting there.
We do a lot of testing. I can't even list how many things we have tried that then some of them were pretty good. They just weren't excellent, so they didn't make the cut. But yeah, back to your note about vegan just quickly. Lots of vegan options. All of our fries are fully vegan. We only put vegan items in the fryer, and we do a full clean on the plancha before we make any of our toppings. So all of the toppings for the dogos are vegan. The mango slaw, fully vegan, and the huesitos, our dessert. Even for vegans who are uncomfortable with honey, we offer maple syrup.
Oh, interesting.
So,
yeah, I never thought about honey in vegans. I guess I got to. Well, I'm not involved in the restaurant business like you guys are, but you're very conscientious.
Yes,
there's a lot of places that are not. They'll mix and do whatever, right? Just as long as it's not meat on your plate, right?
Right.
Well, actually, when I first came up with the recipe for the dressing for the mango slaw, it had honey in it, and I thought, gosh, this is going to be great for vegans. And a vegan reminded people that has honey in it, and that comes from a bee. So we immediately changed it to maple syrup. And actually, the flavor profile increased. It was really, really good.
Better.
But I want to correct one thing about the huesitos. Yes, they are shareable, but you don't have to share them. You have your own order. I do not share desserts. I don't care how big it is.
Go,
but
Phillip.
the thing is this, you know what? You want a dessert, get your own. And I will buy you dinner. I will buy you tacos. I'll buy you your dinner, but don't touch my dessert.
You dare. I love that.
Yeah.
Remember that, everybody. Look out. Look out for the
watch
fork.
out, yeah.
That's right. It's coming.
I'll defend that dessert.
Okay. And how about drinks? What kind of things do you have that people do? I don't see any beers here, so it looks like sodas, and
we have beer mugs, but
we don't offer any alcohol right now. Although that's a project we're looking at at the same time looking for a bigger space.
Okay.
We have a small space right now on Basillio Badillo, 3 doors left of Act 2, but not quite big enough to offer a bar. But as soon as we can find a bigger space in a great location, we would love to offer beers, margaritas. We have some really creative ideas in mind for some, specialty cocktails as well. So those will be coming eventually. But for now, we offer cold Coke products, and we also have an in-house Jamaica with optional flavor shots, basically jarabes of different flavors that you can layer into your Jamaica, including pink lemonade, red fruits, cinnamon, lavender, and
mango.
Yeah.
Oh, all kinds of choices.
And then also on our soft drink side, we have Topo Chico, if you just want like a sparkling water. And I personally wanted to make sure that we had Dr. Pepper and root beer on our menu, because you don't always find that, at the restaurants here in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I felt that was important. And I think they've become kind of popular.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have those.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially since we got a hot dog and a hamburger stand. So let's talk about what happened here. I think this is a kind of a little bit of a feel-good story. How Jeans came to downtown from the marina. Who wants to tell this story?
This is a really feel-good story. I had my first Jeans hamburger right after I moved here, and I fell in love. At that time, they called it the Mexicana, which now it's called an Oklahoma onion burger with chipotle mayo. But that's what I got my very first visit to Jeans, and that's what I have gotten dozens and dozens of visits to Jeans in the last few years. I just love that burger. And to be honest, I've been kind of disappointed with beef in general in Mexico.
Yeah, it's hard.
But Jeans hamburgers they just always hit the spot. So about a year and a half ago, I reached out to Hal and Aneta because I was looking at I'm always looking for, entrepreneurial opportunities in town. So I reached out to Hal and I said, "Hey, are you interested in selling or maybe looking at some kind of franchise or licensing agreement? Because I see that I know that you make excellent food, and I have some knowledge about, the restaurant business, but I also have a lot of knowledge about digital marketing, and you guys just aren't doing any good digital marketing. Let me help you. Let me take this amazing product and run with it." It's kind of in parallel to Philip's story with Chef Juan's sausage carts in the Saturday market. We just fell in love with the product, and then we wanted to take all of our business and marketing expertise and see how far we could push it. So at that time, Hal was interested in selling. They were beginning to see kind of the end of their awesome chapter with jeans, but there were some questions about how they would do it and when they would do it and in what way. So they took some time, and while they were taking some time to think about it and maybe put some numbers together, that's when Phillip approached me with the idea for Salchidogo. So I jumped on board with that. And then, this is so funny.
Kismet.
This is Kismet. We were, Phillip and I, in full Salchidogo uniform, we went to a morning meeting with a vendor over near Sam's Club. And then we were coming back after, and I said, I'm starving. We should stop to get lunch. Where should we go? Oh, let's go to Jeans. Of course, we should go to Jeans. We sat down at the bar and quickly realized that was their last day. For whatever reason, Hal had lost my number. He had lost my contact information, so was never able to reach back to me to say, hey, now we're ready to talk about selling. And so we shook hands. We had an amazing conversation at the bar there while they were closing down. And unfortunately, there was no opportunity to continue operation at that location in Plaza Marina. But we said, hey, we've got a grill. We've got, we've got a fryer. We've got an amazing staff in Zona Romantica. We need to sell Jeans hamburgers in Zona Romantica. And so Phillip took the lead in putting together a deal for us to buy Jeans hamburgers, which kind of gave Hal and Anita the freedom to start their new venture, which is La Sugar Bakery. They make amazing cinnamon rolls and deliver them all around town. And I know you just did a podcast with them as well. So yeah. Kismet. Now we have the amazing opportunity to sell the best hot dogs and the best hamburgers in Puerto Vallarta out of one tiny restaurant with 16 chairs, 3 doors left of Act 2.
Oh, man. Yeah. What a great story. Now, that is a feel-good story. And let's talk a little bit about Jeans Burgers. We interviewed Hal many years ago, couple years back, but maybe you can tell us about that product because it's on your menu. So we got hot dogs and Jeans Burgers. So
Jeans Burgers. I remember listening to that podcast years ago. It helped me become more interested in Jeans hamburgers. The question was, tell us about the burgers.
You have different kinds. I know that you have a vegan burger, right? Or
yes.
A vegetarian burger, right?
A vegetarian burger, which is, it's not vegan, but it can easily be made vegan because our bread is vegan. Mm-hmm. And you can, instead of using mayo, which it kind of comes standard with, you can use one of our vegan sauces. So we actually do have a vegan kind of entree product through Jeans. And then you can, of course, use the vegan slaw and the vegan fries and have a full meal. Okay. So that's delicious.
Yeah, right, basically, let's get to the real meat, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we knew from the very beginning that this is a legacy brand. I mean, they've been in PV for so long and they have so many loyal customers. We said, we're going to try really hard not to change a darn thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So we worked real closely with Hal and Anita before we launched to document everything, to make sure that we were using the same vendors, the same measurements, the same process, the same recipes. It was really important to us that when their customers came to Zona Romantica to try Jeans at Salchidogo, that they got the exact same experience they were getting in Plaza Marina. And thankfully, that has been a lot of the feedback, that it is the same burger.
Consistent quality. And Gene, Hal and Anita did come and actually train us on how to make everything in their whole lineup. So we feel that the quality has been consistent and we've been able to continue at least the food story of it.
Yeah. So we've got the classic burger, which is 2 beef patties, 2 slices of cheese. It's got lettuce, tomato, onion, and Jean's classic burger sauce. It's a classic. But I always say the star of the show, at least for me, is the Oklahoma onion burger. These are all smash burgers. This has been popular for the last 10 years or so. But on the Oklahoma onion burger, what makes this really special is you start by griddling thinly sliced onions on the plancha. You get those a little caramelized. And then you smash the burger on top of the already caramelizing onions. Then, of course, you get cheese and you get to choose your sauce on the Oklahoma onion burger, but I love our Chipotle mayo. I was so excited to get my hands on that recipe from Hal. And then we've got the Hawaiian. That one's always fun. It's got grilled pineapple on it and an in-house Hawaiian sauce. What was so cool about this training process with them is they told us the stories of how they came up with all their recipes. Like the story of how they came up with their veggie patty. It was so funny. The story of where they got the idea for the Hawaiian sauce. It's really cool that we get to continue that legacy.
Yeah. Important too, right?
Yeah, I mean, even the name of the restaurant, Jean's is named after Hal's mother, Jean, and another example of kismet, Philip's mother was also named Jean.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we had a little shivery moment when I figured out that, oh, wow, your mom was Jean too. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's incredible. That's so cool. That is cool. Well, I have to tell you that I have been here when you weren't here, and I tried the Jean's Burger, and you have done a very good job of,
Yay.
It's the same. It's the same.
It takes a lot of work to make something taste the same.
Yeah.
And be consistent every time. But that's kind of one of our goals. I mean, there are three goals that we have in running our restaurant. Number one is it's about the food. The food has got to be delicious. It's got to be consistent. It has got to be served with love and made with great ingredients. So that's number one. Number two is that we want to give really good service. We look for people on our team who can interact with our customers in a really positive way. We want good service because we want people not only to enjoy the food, but to have a great experience here, because it helps us build community and a nice customer base. It's a mutually beneficial thing. And then the third thing is we love Puerto Vallarta. So we are so excited to be running this business here in Puerto Vallarta and also helping build a community. We try to give back as much as we can, even though we're in our infancy. We've been involved with several initiatives to be involved with the community. And I mean, we live here, we love it here, we choose to be here, we open our business here, and we want to help Puerto Vallarta grow.
Yeah.
So those are our three tenets of our business.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and you've also helped and preserved like a classic,
A really
right?
a valuable brand.
Which is pretty amazing.
The story wasn't finished yet. We're so happy to continue the story of Jean's.
Absolutely.
And grateful for the opportunity from Hal and Anita to do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, congratulations to you both for that, your success up till now. And then, of course, when you find another place, you're going to be telling us about that, right? You'll tell us all
absolutely.
about that,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
We'll be the second people to know, hopefully, right? You'll tell us. Let's move away from Salchidogo just for a minute. Let's go out into town. Do you guys ever get any time off? Do you get a day off? Or
Occasionally.
We're closed on Mondays,
Okay.
but I
Well,
have to go to Costco on Mondays.
when you own a business, even if you're not working in it every day, from the time it's open till the time it's closed, you're running a business. So yeah, and that's okay. I mean, we are very committed to it, and we're because we know that that's what is going to make it successful.
Yeah,
and we don't mind doing that. So sure.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. But if you had a day off, what would you do on your day off? What's other than running down to Costco? I mean, so if you were going to go do something and just get out of town for just the day, what would you do? Where would you go?
Good question.
Costco? No.
What a day without work.
Dang, yeah.
Playing social media for the next
I
week.
know,
No.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Man, I don't go to the beach nearly as much as I would like to. But man, when I get an opportunity to just go chill at the beach, that's a great day.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a bad day at the beach. We like to have game nights.
I was going to say game night is number
right.
one. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, well, tell me, what do you do? You just we have a group of friends that get together, or what?
We either meet at Phil's house or my house, and we eat a ridiculous amount of Oreos, and we'll
and
either
some really good carbs.
we'll either play Mexican Train or Rum and Cube or
Swoop. It's a card game that we've just learned that we love.
Really?
Very loud truck just went by.
Oh yeah,
Swoop's fun. A lot of different games, but we love it, and it's good camaraderie with our friends.
that's great.
And then supporting new restaurants. Obviously, I try to anytime I hear of something popping up that's new, I try to make a plan to go try it.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
All right. What's your newest? What's your newest that you found?
The newest?
Yeah.
You were just telling me about it last night.
I was?
Yeah. It's right over here on
Oh, yes.
Madero?
I am
No,
so
no.
happy to tell everybody on this podcast about Trovasi Cafe.
Okay.
It's this tiny little breakfast brunch spot that's kind of off the beaten path on Achilles Cerdon. And the owner's name is Greg. He and his husband actually came into Jeans/Salchidogo last week, and we had a chance to chat. But then right after that, I got a chance to go try his restaurant. And oh my gosh, it was like the best breakfast I've maybe ever had in Puerto Vallarta.
Wow.
It's a super tiny place, but it's very well curated, very well appointed. All of the servers knew the menu very well. They were very helpful, very attentive. And the food came out super fast. I was amazed how fast it came out. And it was just delicious. So I've only been once, but I can't wait to go back. That's my new 5-star find, Trovasi Cafe.
Trovasi Cafe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Phil, you have anything?
I mean, I love to hit the restaurants too. Whenever there's something new, we can't wait to try it. I enjoy that, but I also enjoy cooking. So when I have a little time off, that's fun. I really love baking. I had a little kind of side hustle of a bakery in Dallas a few years back where I made petitfours, which are tiny little cakes. And again, the whole idea was the flavors and the combinations of stuff is what I think made them really special, and the decoration on them. But so I love to bake. And so when I can do that, I enjoy doing that. And
It's a hobby,
so
huh?
it's a hobby, yeah, and it's a challenge actually in Puerto Vallarta because
Yeah.
of the humidity. It's a totally different way of baking
It's
here.
a totally different world.
Yeah. I'm a big lover of buttercream frosting, and it's a little hard to pull off here.
Yeah.
But
okay.
you gotta work with some air
'Cause it
conditioning.
melts.
Yeah, it melts, and also just the powdered sugar in Mexico is not quite ground as fine as it is in the U.S., so it's a little different. I have found some that are more so, and actually I need to just try running some through a food processor to see if that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's fun. I mean, that's what I enjoy doing.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies? At all
Hobbies
there, Brian?
Well, let's see. I manage a few Airbnbs in Zona Romantica, and I drink a little.
A little.
Just a tiny patch.
Just a tiny bit.
Oh, that's a hobby.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a hobby. It's a hobby.
It's a pastime.
I
Yeah.
have two amazing.
Might be a passion.
I have two cute little dogs. I like to propagate ivy plants in my house.
Ah.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
I like all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you had a word of advice to a first-time visitor that's coming to Puerto Vallarta, aside from coming to Salchidogo and Jeans, what kind of advice would you give that person?
Oh, hands down, number one, go to Rhythms of the Night.
Really?
I it's just one of those experiences that's so unique. If it's in your budget, it's $100 or a little bit more than
pricey,
$100.
Yeah. Huh?
But man, when you come back, you don't feel like you paid enough for it because the trip out there is fun. It's usually open bar, a lot of fun. It's about a 45-minute boat ride from the marina to the location. Then once you arrive there, you have a delicious meal and a Cirque du Soleil show out in the middle of the jungle, which is so unique.
Yeah.
It is really a magical evening. So when people say, what's the one thing I need to do when I'm in Puerto Vallarta, I always mention that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
much fun.
I'm glad to hear that.
So,
How about don't do's? What would you tell people not to do?
Don't stay at an all-inclusive. Get out.
Yeah.
that's great advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
That's
right.
my advice.
I like
Also, let go of any expectations about Mexico operating the same way as the United States or Canada. It's just different here. And I think if you can chill a little, then you'll have a lot more fun.
Yeah. Just relax.
Just
You're here for vacation.
Right.
So, just let Mexico wash over you and take your cares away and go with the flow.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a 3-day trip. So let's say if you're going to go somewhere from here, where would that be?
For me, in the summertime, it's either going to be Mexico City or San Miguel de Allende, which is another great foodie town and a lot of history there in the very center of Mexico. It's integral to the history of Mexico, colonial town. And then Mexico City, just because it's really a world-class city with a world-class food scene, unlike anything else. So those are both pretty simple trips from Puerto Vallarta, and especially in the summer when it's warm and humid here.
Yeah.
It's nice to be fresh in those places because they're both have very high altitude, so they stay pretty nice and dry and cool year round.
Nice getaway.
Yeah.
All right. Very, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's come back to Salchidogo. Gene's here. Give us your address, your current address.
We're at Basillio Badillo, 329A, 3 doors left of Act 2.
All right. Very, very good. And then you are all the social media. You got the Facebook, you got the Instagram, all that stuff.
We're both on Salchidogo and Gene's, both. So you can search for either one.
Yeah, easiest way is to visit one of our websites, salchidogo.com or jeansburgers.com. And we've got links to all of our social media. But we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
All that.
Yeah, and we are we approved for Uber? We were doing Uber, then we stopped for a bit, but we're back to
Yeah,
Uber.
we're about to be back on Uber, so we will have some
Little
delivery
Uber Eats.
options
And
available soon.
so we'll be doing some delivery options. We also do you can do online ordering for carryout, which is great. We have a relationship with Studs Bear Bar down the street, and we deliver food to them, to their clients if they order it. We've got table tents there, and super great guy Mike Owens and
Augustine
own that place, and they do such a good job with it, and we love being partners with them on various projects, but super nice guys.
Yeah, Mike has been a huge resource for us.
Yeah, and super supporter, super fan from the beginning, and we couldn't appreciate him more. And our hours are, we're open 12 to 10 every day, except on Fridays and Saturdays, we're open late till midnight, and we're closed on Mondays.
All right. Very good. Well, I'll have all that stuff in the show notes. I'll have all the links to all their social media, to their websites, and I'll actually have a Google map that'll take you to the front door. And you will have no reason not to be able to find this place. Am I missing anything? Is there anything that I forgot to cover?
Well, I did want to mention that a lot of people, especially diehard Gene's fans, are asking us when we're going to have some of the other things that were on the original Gene's menu. At this point, we've only launched the four burgers, the classic, the Oklahoma onion, the Hawaiian, and the veggie. But very soon, we will be introducing the chicken burger, and probably right after that, the Gene's milkshakes that are so famous.
How cool.
We do offer the Gene's traditional coleslaw now, and then eventually probably adding the brisket and barbecue options as well.
All right.
We've got several people asking for the brisket. We thought we'd do a limited run of that kind of, and see how it goes. And if everybody responds like we think they will, make it a permanent part of our menu.
Well, it would be a rarity in this area right now.
Yeah,
hopefully in a bigger space, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well,
we definitely need a bigger space.
You might need that.
Yeah.
I mean, because people will be flocking for all those good things. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show, taking the time, to talk to me and to tell us the story about Salchidogo and about Gene's and about your journey. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for supporting the local community and raising awareness. Thanks for what you're doing.
It's my pleasure. Thanks to you.
Yeah, and we also like to thank the people of Vallarta and the tourists who come here who support us. We really appreciate that and look forward to building those relationships. And we have to give a shout out to our incredible team. They work really hard and they really want to make a difference in the food scene here. So we really appreciate them as well. So we thank you for the opportunity to communicate that.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian and Phillip. I have to say, you know what, guys? I would be there every day. I love that food so much. And, I'm looking forward to them adding that shake and even that brisket, to my order. Can't wait. Do give them a try. It is in an air-conditioned restaurant. I don't think we talked about that during our talk, but it's air-conditioned, and it's a rarity in Puerto Vallarta. You got to go. I've got all the contact information in the show notes over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Okay, well, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. Remember, if you are considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of these tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us a message. Hey, don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, and I have links to all of those in the show notes. Once again, if you like this podcast, well, please take the time and subscribe and follow and share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta, or give me a good review wherever or however you happen to be listening. That way we can get the word out to more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, where have you been? You really need to go check it out. Have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures and more right there in the blog posts and the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you so much to Anita and Hal Hilton of La Sugar Bakery in Puerto Vallarta. Order the best cinnamon rolls in paradise to be delivered to your place in paradise, condo, your house, your Airbnb, your resort, your hotel, whatever. I have contact information in the show notes, and so check that out for sure. And thank you so much to Brian Scott Carey and Phillip Wier from Salchidogo, and Gene's Classic Hamburgers for joining us, telling us their storybook tale of a classic burger and a gourmet hot dog stand in paradise. What fun. You gotta go visit them. It's lovely. Remember, it's air conditioned. It's in the Zona Romantica. I've got links and maps in the show notes at www.PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. And hey, thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. It's Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you all to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, pero por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta.